Here we are then, 23rd of April 2014, and I've just been restoring and fencing off this flight pond on marshes we have in Norfolk. That sheep wire fence on the feeder dike is to stop swans getting in and stealing all the feed that I'll put in winter to get the ducks in. I put an 8-foot entrance gate in there. The idea of the fencing gate is to keep the cattle out and stop them fouling the pond and poaching it and what have you, and letting the ducks feed in peace. So I managed to get hold of some more telegraph pole. That bit you're looking at there was a part last weekend of 22 foot of pole that was left on a farm, and I was given access to it. It means I had to haul it out of the middle of a wood, so I had to make myself up a harness and drag it out. As always, I was Billy No Mates on my own, no one about to help. So just looking over the fence, there's the pond there. Look, it's about 35 metres one way and 35 to 40 the other, something like that. I've got two hides that are going to be permanent hides. I'm growing willow up them. So what we've got here is 32-inch sheep wire, and then 6 inches above that a single strand, a 3mm galvanised wire, and then 6 inches above that a single run of barbed wire. That's just a strainer I put in the middle. You'll notice when I put these posts in that I put a wire wrap in and then twist it up to keep tension where I want it, and you can direct that tension however you want it just by placing the wire. I always remember back to my old engineering training days in a former life about coefficients of friction. You don't need any fancy gadgetry or tabernacles or anything to keep tension in wire. If you put the wire in and just twist it up with a screwdriver, it will reasonably hold itself. If it comes unstuck, then you just need to put a wire peg down into the ground to stop it unravelling. So that's the strainer on the other end. I'm backfilling this dike that runs through the other side of the pond. I've put a 15.5-inch internal bore, 1.25-inch wall plastic pipe. There's 20 odd foot of that in there, and that's slowly being backfilled with rubble as and when I can get it. So far I've handballed everything in, but I aim to get some machinery on it shortly. This is another new gate I put in at the weekend, and this is part of the means of dividing the three marshes so that we can rotate cattle. Might want to put some heifers on here or something, mother and calf, that kind of stuff, and just isolate them, give them a bit of peace and quiet. So this is the other run of the fence. All this I put in myself with a post knocker. You do feel like you've gone 12 rounds with Tyson when you've finished it. Another strainer this end, and again another block on the drainage dike. So what we've got is a good flow of clean water coming in and out with the tide that comes in from the River Waveney, and the pipes are set as such that we've always got a foot and a half of water. There's one of the hides, little seat in there for a gun. We've just got two hides on this pond. Had these marshes a couple of years, slowly been restoring them. This, to my knowledge, in all the years I've been about here, is the first time this pond's been properly fenced off and gated. It's a lot of hard work. The raw materials alone for this fencing in project were close to £1,000 for posts and gates and nails and wire and all the rest of it. That's without the time. Took me about 3.5 to 4 days to do this, because I had to dig the posts in by hand. They're set in 30 inches with concrete and rubble at the base. 30 inches incidentally is about the maximum that I can get with a shovel and still hoof the soil out without caving the sides in and what have you and making it a huge trench. So that gives me a hole of about 30 by 30 by 30 basically is what we end up with. Anyway, at the end of the day, hopefully come October this year, I'll have finished the crossing there, and we'll be able to come down and feed the pond and get some mallard and some teal coming in, and hopefully get just a few flights out of it, which will be a little bonus. And it'd be nice to see this pond being used as a flight pond. So many people are losing shooting these days, and we've got to look after what we've got in any way, shape or form that's possible, and this is just my little bit. Hopefully what I'm going to do is bring a very, very good and dear friend of mine, Captain Ben, and give him the flight of his life before he hangs his boots up. He's one of the oldest wildfowlers certainly that I know of. He's still fowling, age 74, loves getting out on the duck and the geese. He's had all sorts of health issues, but he refuses to give up because he's a stubborn old so-and-so, and I love him dearly all the more for it. He's been my mentor for many a year, and I hope to repay his kindness in some small way by putting him under a few duck, and he can enjoy some fowling at the end of this year. Anyway, that's it for now. More updates to follow.